Plus, see the new Forevermore two-stone diamonds. They're new for you and your sweetheart. Arnold's Jewelry and Gift Gallery, a master IJO jeweler. Located at 228 South Washington Street in Uptown Shelby. Online at arnoldsjewelry.com.
Hi, this is Woody Durham for Doctors Doug Stroud, Jim Wilson, and Craig Thompson at Family Dental Care in Shelby. No matter the age, kids, teenagers, and adults, Dr. Stroud, Wilson, and Thompson will take care of your dental needs. They have over 50 years' experience serving the people of Cleveland County. Call 704-482-3281 for Family Dental Care at 416 West Warren Street in Shelby. That's Doctors Doug Stroud, Jim Wilson, and Craig Thompson. Kids love them, and you will too.
Good morning on this Friday, the 18th of March, 2016. Time now for the Elder Law Report. Greg McIntyre and Hayden Soloway and special guests today. So right now we'll send it to the studio for the Elder Law Report. Good morning, Greg and Hayden.
Good morning, Milton. How are you doing this morning?
Just fine, doing great. Hope you guys are.
I'm doing great. I'm here with John Yurchek, just like Paycheck, this morning with Healthy at Home in Carolina's healthcare system, along with my pal and boss Hayden Soloway this morning. Can't wait to do some Hayden's Corner this morning, and just really looking forward to a great show. This is part 2 of avoiding falls. Maintaining your health, your wellness, and how to keep from getting into a situation where you fall, hurt yourself, and all the perils that entails. So stay tuned for a great show. I'll tell you what, it's been an extremely busy week here. Hey, Milton, what are you doing this weekend? You got any big plans with the weather? Well, I mean, just look at the weather outside. It's like summer all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I guess
we skipped spring.
Yeah. Well, spring's coming back. I think we're going to get out of the 80s for a while, and we'll be back in the 70s next week.
Well, spring has sprung. There's no doubt about it. So, Hayden, you got any big plans this weekend?
Well, taking care of my dad. He's having some problems, and going to get him further working through those, and hope to get him out of there at the hospital. But I've always got things to do. A soccer game today. Granddaughter soccer.
Okay, that sounds like that's very important.
Yeah.
Granddaughter soccer game. We've had a really busy last few weeks. We really have. We've had the 4-city tour we finished up with, and then in Asheville, Shelby, Morganton, and Charlotte. We did a talk yesterday for the Lincolnton Senior Center. Love the Lincolnton Senior Center up there. We did some in-services and other talks maybe for the Cherryville YMCA. And we have more events coming up.
Yeah, we have 3 next week. I don't have the list, unfortunately. But.
Okay, so we've got 3 coming up next week, and we'll put those out on our website if you want to know where you can see us coming up next week. But, hey, what about Hayden's Corner this morning? You got anything for us this morning?
Hayden's Corner, my happy place.
Hayden's Happy Place. I'm sorry, we're changing it. Hayden's Happy Place.
There's so much bad news in the world. Sometimes it's nice just to talk about something that's uplifting and.
I've worn my presidential blue suit this week.
Yes, I was going to say you look quite distinguished.
Yes, there was something going on Tuesday in North Carolina. A bunch of people out at the different polling places. What was that all about?
Just, I guess, it was the primary.
Voting for your favorite candidates, right?
Yes, they're the only ones available.
Yeah, okay.
Not necessarily my favorites, but
maybe not your favorite.
Now locally, North Carolina, we have some great candidates. We really do, but we don't talk about things that have D's and R's in front of them. Yeah, okay. I've been banned from politics.
Right.
So that was one of the conditions that I came to work for Greg. No politics. We do that privately, so we won't talk about that. But I was talking about, I'll tell you something that I want to tell everybody about. I have been a football mother, baseball, basketball, lacrosse, softball, soccer, volleyball, and cheerleader. So I have been to some cold and rainy games, and I found the neatest thing the other day. Can't remember, maybe it was on Facebook, I don't know, but it's a chair pod, and it's a little tent for a chair that keeps you 30% or up to 30 degrees warmer than the ambient temperature outside the tent. And it has this clear plastic kind of stuff on 3 sides and canvas, and it has a little cap that goes on top of it that's waterproof. I have sat in some very cold and very rainy sports events.
Right.
So I'm ordering that thing. It's like from anywhere from $109 to $139.
Okay.
And if you're a grandmother or a grandfather and that's keeping you from going to the games, well, there's your answer. But they're great. And I'm going to get that information because I'm going to order one. And if you want to call the office if you want to find out about it,
Okay.
I'll tell you.
Okay, so get a chair pod, I guess.
Yeah, chair
for the
pod.
games.
Yeah.
So great for a grandparent going to cold, rainy soccer and
That's
other
right.
games, right?
Whatever. Or fishing. I guess you could fish off one.
You
or
could fish off one,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
sit out and read.
Sure. Anything else on your mind this morning?
Well, I was going to talk about a bucket list.
Okay.
And I wish I could remember what just stirred me to do that. I think it was the white trees, the beautiful flowering trees.
Great movie, by the way.
I would love to, the bucket list.
The
Yeah,
bucket
that
list.
was good.
We should
It
do a
was.
show that's just the bucket list.
We could. In fact, we could build that, put what I was going to talk about. It made me say one of the things that was on my bucket list. My bucket list grew not only to what I want to do, but I backed up and put things on it that would have been there if I had known about it and did it anyway. So I've backtracked on my bucket list because I've had some very exciting experiences and opportunities. But that just reminded me I always wanted a flower garden, really a cutting garden, because I love flowers, bring them inside the house. So that's something I probably will never have because I live in a condo. But
Okay.
that's something that was on mine. And I always wanted a horse, and that's not going to happen. So I have to I'll probably leave them on there. I don't think you should mark off things on your bucket list.
You just do
Kinda,
it.
yeah. But the one that I do intend to achieve, I have collected shells from almost the oceanic beach in every state, just about. Texas, I know I don't have, and there may be 1 or 2 more. But we've always, my husband and I have traveled the coasts, photographed lighthouses, and picked up shells. And I just realized as I went along, I was picking up shells from all these beaches. So I set it as a goal to get one from every state. And I've gotten one from a couple of the Great Lakes, but that was one on mine. But I think it's important to have a bucket list, especially as we get older. Aha!
Can you be serious and talk to me with these sunglasses on?
I had to step back a minute, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
No, just save those glasses.
Save the
Let's save that
glasses?
for another show. I've got an idea.
Okay.
But anyway, I think everybody ought to have a bucket list. I don't think we ought to sit around and think about things that we might like to do. I think we need to do them.
Have you ever done that? Just sit around and think about the things that you wish you would have done?
Yes. Things
Yeah.
I would have done
Or
and things that I
regrets
still
and-
can't. I mean, I can't go skydiving now. I don't have the
Right.
knees for it.
What
But
brought
I'd
on
shoot
this
anybody
then?
that pushed me out of a plane
What
to
brought
do it
on the
anyway.
bucket list talk?
I think it was just seeing those flowers
Seeing the
today.
flowers?
These trees are gorgeous. They look like they're full of snow.
Right?
And they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And I've never seen them quite like that. And that reminded me how much I love to cut flowers.
Right.
Not from the florist, but the kind you get in your yard.
Yeah.
And I'll always regret that I didn't have
So
a flower
what's
garden.
your advice to a senior out there who maybe has some things that they haven't accomplished yet or haven't done? What do you
Do
think?
them. And you can
But
look
you can
at what they
always come up
cost.
with a reason why you can't do them, right?
Well, you stir a lot of my events.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that you put on your emails and things like that is make it a great day,
Yeah,
not
make it a
have a
great
good
day.
day.
That's correct.
But and you do that. Sometimes you accidentally have a good day, but most of the time you make it. So if you start out, how many weekends just went to nowhere? You don't have any memory of them. You spent Friday to Sunday doing absolutely nothing memorable, sitting in front of the TV or cleaning out the garage. I think it's important, especially when you're dealing with seniors. My parents, I try to do something with them every weekend. Maybe not memorable, but something nice. Take them to dinner or something, and not just let the weekend go. So I think people ought to start maybe little bucket lists. You don't have to have a great bucket
Start
list.
small.
Sure.
Just start knocking off the things checking off the events. So everybody listening out there,
Yeah.
put
You got a
down your
weekend
top
coming up.
3 things on your bucket list
See how you can
and
make
make
it
a
work.
commitment to knock them out and get them done.
Yeah.
My bucket list, what is it? What do you think my bucket list is?
Expansion.
Expansion?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. You would like to have offices in some of the towns that we have done business in. There are people there who wait in line for us to come back the next time to their
Sure.
town, and we try to schedule them
So to be
in
able to
places
serve them,
there. Yeah, and to be able to serve
that would be a
underserved
business
communities.
goal, sure.
Yes,
Only,
but I think that's.
yeah,
I don't think it necessarily. The fact that it's a business goal takes it off a bucket list.
right.
You know,
I don't
just
think
whatever's
so either.
meaningful to you.
Well, if you know me,
What's on yours?
yeah. What's on John's?
John?
John's, what's on your bucket list?
Oh, I think
You'd have to show with this if we're not careful.
some travel out of the United States, Egypt, Italy,
Yes.
Greece,
I'm back.
the birthplace of Western civilization. I would really like to be able to get to those places.
That's
Those
a
are
really
three.
noble item to have. That's a really cool thing to have on your bucket list.
I might make
That is a cool
Italy.
thing, yeah.
I have a friend who's married to an Italian fellow, and they are going to buy property over there and be bi-coastal. Is that the right word? Or bi whatever. But anyway,
What? You do what?
what do you call it? No, it's not bi-coastal. That would be like Atlantic and Pacific. But they want
Okay.
to buy property in Italy and
Yeah.
spend part of the time there and here. So I'll have a place to stay. So
Yeah,
I'll
across
probably
the
make
pond.
Italy. But
I
those
wanna-
are
I
those
wanna
are
do-
three great
I want to
places.
do business in Manhattan.
Oh, you want to set up an office then? in
I mean,
Manhattan.
okay, that's fine. Let's do that. I've always wanted to like put my hands on my hips and look out over the
Your
survey
domain.
the scene. Look
Your
out over
domain.
my domain and in the skyscraper.
Master of your domain.
Master of the universe. Yeah, that would be awesome. That's what I mean. You know, you watch those shows about New York City and all that.
Yeah.
I love that area. We did a show from New York City not too long ago. That
That's
was a lot
right.
of fun.
Right.
So I'd like to do.
I
So I have done
suggested-
some work from New York.
I sug-
from a cab. Though.
I suggested you ride bikes. I did not mean in traffic.
Oh,
you
riding
are
bikes
you are
I checked
McIntyre
that
Elder
off
Law.
my bucket list. Don't tell my insurance agent that I did that.
Well, you
road bikes
you
in
probably won't do
Manhattan
it
track.
again. So
So
you're saying.
so that would be on there. I'd like to skydive.
Would you really?
I would really like to skydive. Yes, jumping out of a perfectly good airplane makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
And I've sailed around the world.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that ought to be.
I would like to go to space. Outer space.
I would too. I think I'm probably over the threshold age-wise.
I don't know.
I would.
Why?
If I given
Let's
the
do it anyway.
chance,
Yeah.
I might. I might do
You
it.
know George Bush, Senior, skydives on his birthday
That's
every
right.
single year.
I did know that.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So that bucket list, that's a good topic. We should just
Yeah.
dedicate a show to that. We're going
Yeah.
to dedicate a show to bucket list.
Yeah.
I'll
It'd
tell
be
you
nice
what.
to have people call in and what's on their bucket
Well, we're
list.
going to do
what
that
they've
right
done.
now because I've got something I want to give away. Okay, I have 2 tickets that we're giving away to the murder mystery coming up at Don Gibson Theater in Shelby, North Carolina. It's a murder mystery. We have quite a few tickets. I have about 30 to sell,
Yeah.
but I have 2 that I'm going to give away this morning. Okay,
Okay.
call in and give us your top 3 bucket list items. If someone does that, we will go ahead and give away 2 tickets to the murder mystery coming up on March 26th. It's an interactive murder mystery. Bring your significant other, and you will be. We bring down a troupe from Charlotte, and they involve the audience in solving a murder mystery. You'll be on my team, and we have won it before, and we want to win. We want to bring home the trophy again. All proceeds go to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland County, and I'm really involved in the Boys and Girls Club. Love the Boys and Girls Club. So go ahead and call in and get your murder mystery tickets. And without further ado, and Milton, if you'll let us know when a caller comes in, I've got an issue with my headphones, so I won't be able to hear them very well. But we want to give away 2 tickets. I have those with me today. Okay.
Okay.
And without further ado, let's introduce and get it right into the meat of our show, which is avoiding falls and maintaining your health. John Yurchek from Healthy at Home. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing well today, Greg. How about you?
I'm doing very well. It's good. Hey, Hayden, you fixed it. It's great to have you back. Great to have you back. And, you know, I've been looking through this amazing manual. Now, I understand. I had a breakfast meeting with Anya Workman with Healthy at Home on, I want to say, Monday, Tuesday, maybe Tuesday morning, and just had a great meeting. We talked about the Better Balanced Patient Handbook. which you and Anya actually wrote. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
That is awesome. And John, why is it so important that seniors are conscious of not falling or avoiding falls? Why is that even an important thing? I mean, I used to fall all the time growing up, and I'm fine.
Well, sure. We
I
all
still
go,
fall all the
we
time.
all go through that period of time as we're growing up. But as we age, it certainly can cause significant injuries.
Right.
A lot more than when we're younger, when we kind of bounce back from those things. And I think the injury on everybody's mind when you talk about falls is hip fractures, and how devastating that can be, and the mortality rate after a hip fracture, and the quality of life that happens after that. So the best thing for hip fracture is to prevent it from happening in the first place, which is where that fall prevention comes in.
Okay, so prevent it from happening in the first place.
I was always expecting that the reason that happened was you couldn't walk again. I found out with my mother that it's painful to walk again. She's had 2 hip fractures, and it has caused her difficult to move her legs. So she's not bedridden, but it's caused her to not be able to get the exercise she needs. So that's kind of a different thing that I had thought about. I'm learning a lot about seniors going
Yeah,
through
and
this time.
that can set a spiral of events that people tend to be less active, either from pain or even fear of falling again. One of the number one risk factors for a fall is a previous fall, because people get fearful. They stop moving around. They decide limiting activity is the best way to prevent a fall, and that leads to increased ability and weakness, which puts them at a higher risk at that point.
He's very good. I'm looking at the handbook. We're gonna have a quiz today. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
That's a
John.
surprise.
How many out of 4 people over the age of 65, how many of them, if there are 4, will fall each year?
It's 1 in 4, 25%, and there's some statistics that even make that higher to 1 in 3 people would fall after age 65.
Ding, ding, ding. That's exactly correct. That is correct. So you just said one of them. So the true or false, the best way to avoid falls is to limit your activity, just to hang out on the couch.
That is false. And a lot of people believe that limiting the activity, if I don't move, if I don't get up, I won't fall. But instead, they become weaker, and when they do have to get up, because we all have to get up, whether it's to get to the kitchen, our bedroom, the bathroom, when they do get up, then they're in a weakened condition and can lead to falls.
That is exactly correct also. It's like he wrote the book or something. True or false, physical activities cannot help you stay independent.
Is that a double negative? Let me think about that. Physical activities cannot.
You can rephrase it.
Yeah.
Physical activities, objection, Your Honor. Physical activities do not help you stay independent. True or false?
Physical activities do
So that's
keep you
false.
independent. That
correct?
is false.
Correct. So it will actually help you stay more independent the more physically active you are.
Sure, and we all lose muscle as we age.
That's the next one.
And
But-
it doesn't have to mean the YMCA. I was studying this last night. It can just be mopping, sweeping, wiping off the counters.
Sure.
Even those things keep you in better health.
30 minutes a day of walking up on your feet, it has been shown to significantly improve your overall well-being. And that doesn't mean going for a 30-minute walk. You can time, all right, I've got to get to the dryer to fold clothes. I'm up on my feet. Now I'm at the sink. But if you actually time how long you're up on your feet, it's amazing that a lot of us don't even get 30 minutes a day. We're in the chair to watch TV. We're in the chair at a desk. We're in the chair at the table. And a lot of times with technology, we're not up on our feet the amount of time that we need to be.
Hayden, you know a heck of a lot about how to stay active. Are you active? Hayden the Hurricane is extremely active, right? So
Not like I should be.
not like you. I think you're extremely active. So, what are some great ways that seniors can stay active in our community or in
Well,
any community?
My friends play pickleball. It's
Right.
a modified form of tennis. Different rackets, different balls, a third the size of a tennis court. So you're running short distances instead of screaming across the court. So they've sized it down, and it was actually created by a senior citizen. And we've taken the courses, the YMCA senior silver sneakers courses
Silver
there,
sneakers, yeah.
and there's dancing some of my friends have taken dancing lessons over there, and I mean, they're just the senior centers and the YMCA's have a lot of activities, but just things like that can be gardening.
I've seen groups of seniors playing pickleball on vacation at tennis courts. They just play it inside the small.
Yeah, they just
lines
line
of
it
the
off
tennis
within
courts.
the tennis court. Yeah.
And I've seen it at YMCA's in the gymnasiums playing pickleball. You could probably play it in a racquetball court.
Or bowling or any,
Anything.
croquet.
Walking with your friends at the mall.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
around the mall.
a friend of mine and I used to do that. We used to do it every day.
Mall walking. So
And
just
shopping.
doing something, and or just even getting up, making sure you're moving around the house. Maybe getting outside for a stroll.
That walking is the biggest part, whatever activity that you choose to do, because the weight-bearing activities, standing on your legs, your bones actually react to the stresses that are put on them. So if you don't have weight-bearing or use the force of gravity, those bones will become weaker over time, and it sets you up for osteoporosis. So if you do fall, then you're higher risk for a fracture. So any weight-bearing activity that you're doing, and walking really is the best thing. So whether it's gardening, pickleball, or you name the activity, as long as it's a weight-bearing activity, it will really help with your overall physical fitness.
It puts stress on your system, on your bones, to stand up and walk, period, no matter who you are. But if you don't do it, or the more you do that, the more, I guess, it keeps your bones denser, right?
Yes, correct.
And less brittle. And can help make up for just the effects of aging, and turn the clock back, I imagine. So that's a good question, and you want to maintain that strength and flexibility as well. So at what age is it too late to start an exercise program?
Greg, I don't think it's ever too late. Certainly there may be some health conditions that you want to run by your doctor or a therapist to make sure the level of activity that you choose is appropriate, but I don't think it's ever too late to increase strength, flexibility, balance. Actually, if it was too late, I'd be out of a job. So I don't think it's ever too late to become more physically fit and improve your health.
Okay.
There are some things, I'm looking at this handbook, and I have been through it. There are some things in there that would surprise people. For instance, how medication can affect your balance and your things like that.
Sure.
What are some of the others that are less known that people would be surprised at?
I think one that was, when we wrote this book, Anya and I, what was one of the statistics we found that was really shocking was an air temperature of 65 degrees or less at nighttime increases your risk for falls, because of the way your circulatory system works, and that if it's cool, your blood flow will go to those internal organs, so then you put your feet on the floor and your legs are a little rubbery.
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
So that's right. And this time of year, it's warm during the day, and then all of a sudden it cools off at night. So it could drop down, and that's one factor that could increase the falls. And a lot of people I've seen at home, they'll have a kerosene heater or have the front room really nice and toasty, and then you go back to the bedroom and the icicles are hanging off the window because everybody's trying to conserve fuel costs, and that would put them at risk for falls, just that temperature at nighttime.
That makes perfect and total sense, John. You have some homework in your book that you wrote, the Better Balanced Patient Handbook. What are some things that, say, a family can do or a senior can do to see if someone they're concerned about, or if they're concerned about themselves, is a risk for falling? What's a quick self-test that we can get?
Well, a lot of the manual is based off of information from the CDC and their STEADY program, and I think that has got a lot of information for people. STEADY being STEADI, stopping elderly accidents, deaths, and injuries. And anyone can look that up on the CDC website, and that's got a lot of good information to be able to look over and go over. But when you're talking about falls and family members, I think that's the biggest key is communicating about it. If nobody talks about it and those fears aren't addressed, then it just goes unspoken, and no change can be made at all. So I think speaking with your family members, your physicians, and getting everybody on the same page, if you are concerned about a fall, I think that's the first step in reducing that risk.
And so you can go on the CDC's website, look at the STEADY program, and there's a self-test there, or there's certainly key factors there that can tell you if you're at risk for a fall, or a family member might be at risk for a fall. There are also some medical factors that can increase your risk for falls, which would be, do you want to tell us any medical factors, for instance, that might increase our risk for falls?
Sure, there's several. I think the one that is most surprising is a diagnosis of depression. And that goes underreported and undertreated in this country. And just the diagnosis alone increases your risk to fall by 50%. And that doesn't include that you may become inactive with depression. You may just kind of shut yourself off and stay put, and then over time become weaker because of that. But just the fact that you have a symptom of depression, or a diagnosis rather, puts you at 50% more likely to fall.
Do you know something that is extremely effective at reducing or combating depression?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
Medications. I mean, if
And
it is
physical activity.
physical activity, certainly, but if it is a clinical diagnosis of depression, this isn't pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Right.
You've
No
got to,
bootstraps.
That is a chemical imbalance that needs to be addressed
Sure.
by a physician, and certainly they can help with that. And I think a lot of our patients that we see, or seniors in general, they go through that depression just like you would the stages of grief. You're not grieving necessarily the loss of a loved one, but you may be grieving the loss of the health you enjoyed before. So the denial, the depression, the anger. But when you get stuck in one of those stages, that's when it becomes an issue.
Okay. Well, very good. And again, John, tell us a little bit again about your role at Healthy at Home and what Healthy at Home does for seniors, as well as how they can get in contact with you. When are you going to come in? How can a family use you? When should they use you?
Sure. So I'm the rehab director for Healthy at Home, and my job is to really make sure we have a standard level of care across all of our branches, that whether you live in Charlotte or Valdez or Shelby or Morganton, that you're going to get the same quality care that you would receive at any one of our locations from any one of our therapists. So whether it's physical therapy, occupational therapy, or speech therapy, we want to make sure all of our patients have that same quality and excellent care that we would expect from our own family members, or for our own family members. As far as our services and how you would access those, typically it's through a physician referral, whether that's your family physician, orthopedic physician that you see on a regular basis, or you have entered the hospital and the hospital physicians would procure that order at that time. If someone was interested in an assessment without necessarily a medical problem, that would consider them homebound, because that's how Medicare or any other insurance provider would allow you to access home health, is you have to be considered homebound. It's got to be a taxing effort to leave the house. But if you did want to have a therapist come out and do an assessment of the home, of your strength, and you weren't homebound, you could either go to an outpatient facility to get an assessment done, but they wouldn't be able to come out to the house. The only way to access that would be to pay privately outside of the insurance costs that would be that your benefits would include.
Okay. And Carolina, it's part of Carolina's healthcare system, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Carolina's healthcare system is an organization that has many different functions and parts, moving parts that work together. Isn't that right?
That's right. Last I heard, I guess we're about 55,000 employees strong.
Okay.
All over the two states of North and South Carolina, with partnerships. Our division is called Continuing Care. So as far as your therapy services, whether that's inpatient in the hospital, Carolina's Rehab, which is an inpatient rehab facility, we have long-term care hospitals, skilled nursing facilities like Huntersville Oaks, Sardis Oaks, or Cleveland Pines here in Cleveland County for extended rehab, the home health division for care at home, and also our outpatient facilities where you could get your physical therapy or occupational therapy, speech therapy on an outpatient basis where you're going to and from a clinic.
So
You could ask for those with the doctor.
Well, Each one of those has a different qualification to be able to access that type of care. And the physicians really direct that, along with the physical therapist, to kind of determine your function, your level of abilities, and what your needs are, and what setting is most appropriate for you at that time. So let's say you've suffered a stroke, and you're in the hospital. That team of discharge planners, social workers, therapists, and physicians will get together and decide, can this patient go home? Do they need to go to Cleveland Pines for a short period of time because they need more intensive rehab than what home can offer? They're going to get therapy 8 hours a day type of thing, or are they going to go home with outpatients? So they really look at that on an individualized basis and come up with a plan with the family, with the patient, to determine what setting is best for their rehab needs.
And I understand that Carolina's Healthcare at one point just found it was very important to and found it a need there that the after acute care, if you will, when you're transitioning out of, say, hospital care, that wanted to be able to have a seamless transition into that rehabilitation setting and be able to do that in someone's home. So that was where Healthy at Home comes from, correct? Or where that piece fits in to the Carolina healthcare puzzle, right?
That's correct, and we're seeing more and more patients go directly home. With the technology that we have, we can set up monitors in the house that we can monitor vital signs remotely, keep track of these folks and what's going on. So that's going to be the trend in healthcare, really, is to get people home as quickly as you can. That's where they're safest. The rates of infection are reduced, the rates of complications are reduced, and as long as we can provide that care safely in the home, that's really where they need to be.
So this is Carolina's Healthcare, a large organization, but really looking at the patient on an individual level and leveraging resources to say, we're going to care from you from the hospital stay through rehabilitation and make sure you're doing okay and have the best shot to get back on your feet.
That's exactly right. We're talking about the best setting at the best time for the right reasons.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're trying to do, is to make sure our patients are cared for in the best place to give that care.
Okay. The Tree of Life, that's your logo and symbol, correct?
It is.
And it's a kind of a modern looking Tree of Life, which is really cool. And it has how many? Is that 8, 9 branches there?
I believe it's 8.
8 branches, okay. And each one of those branches stands for something, maybe? Is that right?
It does, and don't quiz me on that, Greg.
Okay,
but my orientation was quite many years ago.
But it does. You know what? We're going to get with Anya Workman, and we're going to get her to report exactly what those stand for. Okay, and we'll get it back. What's that? Tickets. Yes.
No calls.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to leave those tickets for you. It's to the Murder Mystery on next Saturday night, March 26th, from 6 to 9 p.m. And it'll be a fun time for all. You can bring your significant other. We're going to leave those at the radio station. Somebody can call and pick those up today. And Hayden, do you want to say anything in closing?
Well, we've got some interesting shows coming up. One that's going to feature probably someone from your organization. The virtual visits and the technology as it relates to seniors and health care. Mm-hmm. We talked about doing that show. And then, medications, one just on medications and how they interact and how the number of medications you take increase your likelihood for, different things. So that may be a good show, and it may involve maybe 2 people, maybe a pharmacist and someone from Healthy at Home or something like that. We're going to have, I have invited the discharge planners and the case manager's supervisor from one of the local hospitals to come speak with us, and there was some enthusiasm to do that.
Absolutely.
That will be very, very
discharge
interesting.
Planners really fit into that piece.
Right, and we've got a fellow who's agreed to come in April from the Phillips Company, and he's going to show us some
Talking
of the
about technology. And
medication
sure.
dispenser.
Medication dispensers. If you fall, it will alert automatically your family and healthcare officials to contact you and make sure you're okay.
Right.
It automatically detects those falls.
And Bob Davis with the TAC and local transportation system, how that works. I don't think very many people realize that most people can use this.
Absolutely.
But it also, is a Medicare and Medicaid kind of thing. So we've got a lot of interesting shows coming up, and one of them, Lynn Byers wants to come, and he introduced me to an article. I know we got to go, but let me just tell you quickly. You can Google it or have someone Google it for you. How Physicians Die. And it's the title of it is I Know You Love Me, Now Let Me Die. And it talks about end of life issues. It's very hard to talk to your parents about how they want this done because, you know, it's just an uncomfortable subject. And this is a great article. So I would suggest anybody read that and then tune in for the show. And let's talk a little bit about that because that's something that we're all going to have to probably deal with at some point.
It's a very serious
Very,
subject.
very good article.
Absolutely. Can't wait to have Lynn come talk some more about that. Love it when Lynn comes by. Okay. Anything
Greg?
else? Yes.
I'm sorry, let me interrupt. We got a caller on the phone that wants those tickets.
All right. Put him through.
Yeah, right here you are. Go ahead, Sandy.
Yes. Good morning, y'all. I've got 3 basket of things that lady asked if that I want to do. I don't have much minutes on my phone, so I'm going to speak fast.
Sandy,
I always
what's your
wanted to
bucket
go
list?
get glamour shots with my daughter,
Oh, yeah.
That would be
and
awesome.
I wanted to go to a wax museum
Madame
That's
Tussauds.
fun, yes.
and go to the Grand Ole Opry one time.
I've been to the Grand Ole Opry.
Let's get a bus and go.
I have an embarrassing story about the Grand Ole Opry.
What did you do?
I was very young. I was like probably 8 or 9. I can't tell it. Maybe
You tell me and I'll
I
tell
might
it.
have fallen asleep and wet my pants in the front row.
You might have.
I might have
Well,
during the show. I was embarrassed. Go ahead.
I have some of those too. So.
Sorry, Sandy.
Sandy,
Go ahead.
that's great. I love your bucket list. That's cool.
Thank you,
I
dear.
had my
And
picture
I'm
taken with
gonna
Arnold
pass that on to my
Schwarzenegger and Mike.
friends.
I'm sorry, Sandy, I interrupted you. What did you say?
I'm going to pass this on to my friends about the basket of things to do.
Yeah, I just think it's great. Just, create your list and mark them off. Every
Amen.
weekend, just pick a new one. It might be go to
That's
Biltmore
right.
House, or it may be
I
just
knew
go
her right.
canoeing. Who knows?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Sandy, let me know when you're going to the Grand Ole Opry when you go to Nashville. I'm going to show
Yes,
up.
sir.
I want to come sing a country song out there.
All right.
Well, if you're going to enjoy the murder mystery, we went to one at the Don Gibson last fall, I believe. And we had a ball. People dress up in costumes. You find out what the theme is. It'll probably be on the ticket. And
That's
get you a
another
costume and
embarrassing
come
story.
on.
If you wanna see another-
And then
Greg,
you
don't
can
get
take a
started. That's
friend
another
with you.
show.
Look at the front page of the Shelby Shopper this week. It's
I've got one.
I'm on there in
It's
an
the
orange.
What's Up Shopper.
I'm sorry.
What's Up Shopper.
Okay, yeah, I'm on there with an orange tux onesie on. Okay.
All right.
It was a wedding murder mystery.
I have a mental picture
It fit
here.
like a glove.
Well,
Well, can I talk to Mr. Melton, and I'll give him my number, and I got to go because I don't have very many minutes.
okay.
Sandy,
all right.
you have a great day. Okay.
Thanks.
And God bless.
God bless you.
God bless you too. Bye.
Thank you, Milton. Okay, we're going to sign off. This has been Greg McIntyre with the McIntyre Elder Law Report, and we'll be back next week at 10:15. Bye.
People are talking about their favorite places to listen.
Listen to it in the car.
In the car.
Big O Country, WHS